Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Fall. Thinking right out here in my lab. And yeah, I'm back in the big book. African origins. Ooh, we talking about myths now. Y'all done got me on this myth rabbit hole, so let's keep going. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You moving on through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. I think is know thyself and to my yacht be true. Right thinkers, we talk about myths. Now we going down the rabbit hole. Myths. Mythology is essential for learning life's mysteries. Again, a myth is explaining the unexplainable as best you can. And your job is to understand it and use it to your ability. And after you got the myth, I got a new one for you, a word called psychomythology. What? You can learn today. Let's go. Teachers on the job. Let's rock. Mythology is the study of myths, stories, okay? Mythos, they call them, are stories which relate human consciousness to the transcendental essence of reality. We're trying to explain the unexplainable. This work is essentially a study in comparative to mythology. It seeks to discover what the common elements in two or more systems of mythos in order to truly understand their deeper meaning and develop the larger picture as they are fitted into an overall patchwork of traditions throughout history. Every culture had their own mythology, mythos, the story. Christians got it. We've been in the Pisces mythos for the last 2,500 years. That's why everybody's stuck on Christianity. That's the mindset that's been in place for the last 2,000 years. That's all they know. Me, a historian and study student, I go past that and realize, oh, this has been going on for a while. This ain't nothing new. So I'm not beat for your religious perspective and concepts. Why? I understand now. Before, I would rip y'all a new one. Okay, now I understand. Again, ignorant comes in all shapes and forms, sizes. When I thought I was smart, I was really ignorant. Why? For something I didn't know. Now that I know, I'm no longer ignorant to y'all mindset for being Christian based. Been in this mindset for 2,000 years. Y'all don't know nothing else. I do. That's all. But in effect, this work attempts to show a connection and the continuity between what traditions that will enable comprehension of them as a flow of one and a primordial and the recurrent theme of what? Self-discovery, aka know thyself. You're not going to get around my philosophy of knowing thyself. Everything points to that. I just make it real simple. Y'all want to go down the Mulberry Bush? Have at it. But again, you're going to come back to where I'm standing right now. Know thyself is what you need to be doing. My job is to help you do that. That's it. Now, in such a study, there are always some who object, maintaining that differences are the overriding defining factors of any aspect of life. That's the argumentative asinine concept. But this way of thinking is incourageous in the face of what? The scientific evidence. Again, it don't make a difference what you think the evidence proves out, pointing to a common origin of all humanity, as well as the creation itself. We start with creation. Before we can get to us, we have to know what was here to set the taste for us to be here. That's the elements. That's nature. We understand that. And to study and give you the story, break it down so you can have a better understanding. And that way your decision making is based on your knowledge of things, not just what somebody telling you and believing what they tell you is what it is. I do my own due diligence. I'm old school. I need to know. You can trust me. Why? I don't trust nobody either. So I did this purposely. All right. So if you like me, you'll understand. But the scientific evidence points to a common origin for all humanity. It starts with Africa, as well as creation itself. So therefore, it seems that the movement to understand our common bonds as human beings is shot to hell a long time ago when race became an issue. But it should as well move into the arena of what? Mythology and psychology, all mental. In this manner, we may now discover that what binds us in a greater is greater than what? That which tears us apart. What is strong, whatever's in the world, what's in me is the greater in the world, all that concept. Yeah, they said God is stronger than the devil. The devil pulls you apart, God puts you together. It's only going to be that way. You can dress it up any way you want. Night, day, good, bad, up, down, in, out. That's called duality. We live in that environment in the human world. For when we examine the arguments and concepts used to separate, there are inevitable derived from what? Emotions, politics, misconceptions, and super physicalities based on ignorance. Ding, 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 ding. Anything done in ignorance is not going to end well. Simple as that. That's a fact. That's a proven. So it ain't an argument, debate about it. It's a fact. So if you think being ignorant is a plus, you'll find out otherwise. Trust me. And when you think ignorance is the way to go, you're going to have to wake up to the sad reality that it's not. It's not a good thing. These lead to major what? Controversies, debates which I don't engage in, refudiations which I don't indulge in, and egoistic opinions which I don't give a crap about. So all these things I don't indulge in. Why? Waste of time. And watch this. Egoistic opinions is found on nothing but faith and rumor, conjecture, and speculation, and not on first-hand experience or examination of the traditions from the point of view of a practitioner. My man, Joseph Campbell, summed it up in this issue as follows. He was a great mythologist. He told a story. He broke the story down. He explained it to you, the hero inside you. He broke it down eloquently. That's what he does. And he's good at that. And if you hear him, you get a better understanding about yourself. Stop looking outside yourself for help. Jesus ain't coming back. He never left, first of all. But no, you got to become what? Your own hero. Save yourself, so to speak. And you can do that by becoming the right thinker. Think right, act right, do right, and be rewarded for those things. Now, let's talk some more about the myth. We're down the rabbit hole now. Hold on. Well, we're going deeper. Let's rock. So the myth is myth in the technical sense is a serious object of study in life. It gives you insight to yourself again, because true myth is by definition deadly serious to its originating environment. Okay? Originating environment, where you come from. You should know about your ethnicity, your group. I'm from the hood. I know project life. I know living with a bunch of people. I know prison life. All those things I know from experience. I know it's other stuff going on, but that's what I know. Again, you only can know what you know. And if you hell bent on not want to deal with what you, that's on you. But knowing what you know, that should be the first priority. And it's all about your culture. I'm from North, born and bred. I ain't ever gonna be ashamed of North. I don't give a damn. Why? It's my home. It's where I come from. I ain't never ashamed of that. Moving on. It's like being ashamed of your parents or your family member. They're my cousin, that's my aunt, uncle, whatever, but never be ashamed. Negative stereotype. In myths, they are used to what express the thought patterns by which a group formulates self-cognition. We had to come together as a group and understand. That's old school village type living. Everybody take care of each other. One look after each other. If I'm looking after you, looking after him, looking after him, we can't be infiltrated. We can't be hurt. So that's what I used to be. Each one watching the other one six. Six is your back. Okay? And the army taught that's me behind you. Okay. If your six is covered, you ain't got to worry about that. You can keep moving forward. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole idea. I got your back. Okay? That means you covered from the back. Okay, now you can go on about your business. But it's also reaching self-realization. These are things that you are responsible for. And attain what? They're my favorite, self-knowledge. That leads to self-confidence. And that explains its own source and being and that of its surroundings and sometimes try to chart its destinies. You are in control of where you're going to end up in life. Simple as that. Choices that you make, decisions that you live by, that's going to determine. All right? You go to nursing homes. Most of the people that's in there, when they was young, when they was doing them, they didn't care about nobody else. So now that they old and they need help, those people they didn't care about ain't going to care about them. See where we're going with that? Where I come from, we don't go, I don't know about no nursing home. We die at home. If you got a problem, nah, we don't do that. Send your way. What? First of all, it takes money. I ain't never been. Money was never an object in my household, so money wasn't the big. Ooh, we got that. That nonsense. We hustled and made a bunch of money, so that's another different story. But actually, just living right. But a myth in life. Man has lived and died. Why? And all too often killed. Why? Through myths. Myths operate by bringing a sacred and hence essentially and a paradoxical timeless concept passed to bear preemptively on the present and inferentially on the future. Everything is based on your actions. Now, as it was in the beginning, is now and ever shall be. What is, it ain't going to change because you here. Me being a Capricorn, don't change what Capricorns represent. I just fall into the mold. And I'm realizing they know about me before I even got here. That amazes me. But again, they're telling you everything is what it is. You just here. Deal with it and move on. Why? It ain't going to change. You can't change it. Yet, in this course of human events, we have spiritual beings come here to have a human experience. In the course of your human events, societies, past and religious systems have changed. And they will continue. The historical landscape gets littered with what? With the husk of what? Desiccated myth. That means dried up, old, used, no longer any good. Okay? No substance to it. Sound like religion. Yep, pretty much. And that's why the myth is eternal. That's forever. Religions change, come and go, and fluctuate depending on who tells the story. That's the difference. All right? But there are valuable non-material fossils of mankind's record, history, especially if still embedded in the layers of embalmed religion, as a part of the stratum of traditions, complete with cults. Every culture had systems, occult, hidden messages. Everybody did it. And there was a litany of rituals. Rituals to this day are still being practiced for a purpose and reason. They just said, I see my man, that Wonderland thing they did, you got performers who performing rituals as their concerts. Okay? Unbeknownst to the people that's there. They just bamboozle them. Okay. Yet, equally as part of the stratus of tradition to me, yet equally important is the next level of transmission in which the sacred narrative has already been what? Securitized. Myths have been turned into sagas, sacred time into heroic past, gods into heroes, mythical actions into historical events. The plot and many genuine national epics constitute repositories of traditions where the mythical underpinning have been submerged via such literary transpositions. You got old chronicles can turn into what? To be prose epics where the probing of modern theologists, like this, can uncover otherwise lost mystical traditions of myth in literature as raw material of fiction, sometimes something that Western civilization has practiced since artifact verbally creating creative beginnings. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. And the Western civilization is no different. And they just do it wrong. Simple as that. I don't subscribe to half the stuff that y'all do. But let's talk about the key element in the myth is its metaphorical purpose to enlighten, to educate. And that is the stories and the characters are designed to provide a reference towards an ethological, moral, or spiritual message that transcends the actual story itself. It ain't about the story, it's the plot and the meaning and understanding you get from the story. Like you Bible thumpers, learn, educate in the lessons in the Bible. Don't make it literal. You can practice it and make it your truth. I understand that. But don't say that it was. Moving on. At least we know with myths you can play with. So, okay, yeah, anything's possible. But this means that there is an exoteric, I keep telling you this, two differences. Exoteric, EXOTERIC, that means which refers to the event and the circumstances in said story, which may or may not have a basis in fact. And also, you have an esoteric, meaning ES. EX is outer, ES is inner, hidden. Esoteric of mystical meaning, which refers to what? A more deeper teaching and the message which transcends the boundaries of the event of the story. Again, get past the story, get the meaning, get the hidden message. This message is spiritual in nature. When the myth is religious, through the myth, many ideas which are not easily explained, here we go, in rational logical terms, can be freely explored and elucidated in an imaginative and a colorful way. With mystical myths are particularly important. Why? Because their purpose is to point to where the answer to what the most important life questions of every individual may be found. I'm sorry about that. Everyone's in searching for what? Answers to these questions like, you ready? Who am I? Oh, I am. Who the hell is I am? Who's that? Who am I really? Okay? That's the question that the myths can help and give you insight to. That's the point right there. Through myths, the teachings of the sage and the saints can take full flight and get understanding and be able to free your mind of constraints of what they call normal, grammatical, or thematic boundaries, meaning the ordinary. Therefore, myths are an ideal way to impart spiritual truth. Ding, 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 ding. Right thing philosophy is based on that right there, which will transcend what we call ordinary experiences and ordinary human concepts of rationality. With self-mastery, self-knowledge, you raise your consciousness to the next level. Ordinary people will say, if you just want to be ordinary, you're going to get up every day, be part of the system. Okay, if you're comfortable with that, they need people to do that. I'm not one of them. Okay, moving on. Let's talk now about, nope, I'm going to make this his own lesson. I'm going to wrap this one up with Joseph Campbell on the myths. Joseph Campbell introduces another way to understand what the commonalities observed in separate cultures that cannot be explained by the theory or similar forces operating on the minds of what separate individuals. There are milestones in history wherein major social events and advancements in culture affect humanity as if like a ripple of water caused by a stone being dropped into a calm lake. The resulting undulations of powerful concepts and techniques move along the trade and the communication routes, the arteries of human communications, interactions, spreading, diffusing the advanced knowledge in waves across the culture, like an ocean of humanity throughout the world, like a surfer, being carried along the force of the waves, so to what the concepts and the symbols move across the human landscapes, being empowered by the innate human desire to what achieve what higher understanding, aka knowledge of self, and intellectual capacity to be able to recognize something better or a new way to express the same treasured truth. You can dress up any way you want. It's still the same thing. We just got to get it to the people and get them to understand it and put it to use. It still works. The blood of Jesus still works. Knowledge of self still works. Trust me. Wrapping it up. This important principle related to the transference of ideas and symbols between cultures was similar to Joseph Campbell's groundbreaking work as a teacher of what comparative mythologies in the West. He was the best at breaking it down from the different standpoints, the different concepts. He was good at that. That's the lesson. But I'll be right back. We're going to get into psychomythology. It's going to have its own place. I ain't want to tack it on to the mythology, so I'll be right back. Right thinkers in closing. May you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers who starting to get this myth thing passed away. I'll be right back with some more psychomythology.